Hey, it's your girl Alex here for our lunch chat midweek download. We're going to go into some fun things to help keep your sanity during this Christmas that I don't know about y'all. Let me know in the chat. I am not ready for. I'm just not. My brain is still July and it's warm and fun and blessings enough. It's 76 degrees in Texas and I'm excited, hence the shirt and shorts that I have on. I am absolutely all about soaking up the rays outside for sure. So today we're just gonna, like I said, tap into what we've got for our sanity to help keep your sanity between kids and dogs and presents, and how to segregate the two, along with some really good treats that I want to show y'all and more. Shout out to the Collective Super Channel. If you haven't already, check them out. They are it's a great collection of contributors who are we're all on that same wavelength, that high ascension, that just really kind of deep diving with each other, just really striving to collectively come together as a whole to really reach those higher vibrations, And so there's a lot of great content, a lot of great contributors on there. We also are going to get into HempWorx. This is the stuff. We're creating videos right now with my girl Kira on her journey. She's my demo dog for my service dogs and my training, and she helps me a lot. So she's not only is she my baby, but she also has a lot of work that she does. And she's an Aussie. She's perfect for what she does. She's super drivey. She's exactly what I need for the job. And she's been having a little bit of a hard time. If you guys are interested in CBD products, y'all, this is phenomenal. It has the hemp seed oil kept in it. It is pure. It is so much more potent. There's a lot of companies who side change. Basically, they take out the oils. They just shortchange you in a lot of ways with their products. They're just not as good, y'all. This is some amazing stuff, not just for your pets, but for you. I've got my coffee. Check it out. Super good. Nice little kick of just wellness, right? Start creating a more homeostasis environment for your body, and just through different things with nutrition and everything else, we're really, it's a whole body experience. It's the mental, it's the physical, it's what you're putting in your body, right? I'll have to go through that, y'all, with my normal lunchtime routine. It's amazing. It's got okra and protein powder, and it's amazing. Go into it, but check out the CBD products. It's amazing. There's some fantastic oils that are kind of into those different mantras we're trying to tap into. They're called the mantra oils. They're phenomenal. Hey y'all, I love seeing you guys chat it up. I have family in Chicago. Chicago's amazing. I am allergic to the cold, and I found out when I was stationed in Chicago. What kind of shit is that? How are you allergic to the cold and break out in hives? That's me. I love Texas. That's why it's so beautiful. Warm here, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. But I bet, right, if I had my more homeostasis environment back then, because I definitely did not. Thank you, Stacy. I love the kind words. But getting into a more homeostasis environment for our bodies so that we can function better, right? So check out our products, the mantras, tapping into those different. So the mantras are like sayings, right? They're rhythmic sayings, usually rhythmically induced, where it has it's rhythmically based on different frequencies of what you're trying to manifest and bring into the light. And you can have any kind of mantra, right? So I'll have to show you guys one of these days, my mirror in my bathroom, it has one of the things. I followed a lot of Tony Robbins. If you guys haven't heard of him, I highly suggest. He's got a lot of great content, just a great platform. Well, one of the things was, how do you identify, right? Going back to the mind, how do we see ourselves and how do we identify in our everyday life? And mine is my role in my life is to be a leader, Jesus-loving, world-changing Spartans, man. I'm Italian and Greek, and so it's just yeah, I know. I love it though. I am in heaven. I was sitting out in the sun earlier. I was just in heaven. I love that it's warm, and I'll take it any day. I hate the winter. It's horrible. Thankfully, I live where it's not terrible through most of the winter, but I digress. So yeah, check out our HempWorx, y'all. And if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. If you guys have any questions about CBD, we're going to get more into it here in a little while, but let me know your questions because I'm going to go back through when we kind of come to those different spots in the show today. And just really, I want to make sure I'm answering your guys' questions. I want to connect with y'all on these different things because whatever I bring to y'all, it's because I myself have lived this, right? I've tried this out. Like I'll come across things and I'm always experimenting. I'm experimenting on a bunch of stuff right now that I'm like, this seems interesting. There might be more to this. Let me find out, because then I can tell you. So because I don't want to put out anything that hurts anybody or harms anybody. I mean, Prime will tell you, I was like, man, I've been praying and manifesting because I was like, man, I need to get this a good hemp product on my, with my clients and stuff that I deal with here in person, and just really kind of getting that in motion. But because of the crappy companies, there is a bunch out there that aren't good products. You really got to dig into it though, because they look great and they sound great. And that's why I don't think I put it in the description. When I get done with this today, I'll go back and edit the description, and I'll put a link in there too. If you guys have testimonials about anything, it'll have like if you want your name used or not, and what products you use and stuff, and just what you have to say, because word of mouth and understanding what the ground is saying, what's actually going on, what is real, that is so vital, so that I can also identify, is the research I've done and my experience, like how are we also having a larger impact? How is it affecting you? Because things can be tweaked, right? Or maybe you're part of a demographic for whatever it is that's being, isn't able to receive it, whatever it is, in the highest vibrational way. And so we can always make tweaks. Like that is the thing we should always be striving to do, is always growing, always being a student. It's great to teach, right? If you can teach, you understand what it is you're teaching, but we should always be looking at things from a student mentality, because you could be 20 years in the field of something and then you fall into complacency. Complacency is the death of all learning and all knowledge, all true understanding, because then we're so closed off, 3D mindset, dense mindset, not being willing to open up. We're not letting the truth in. We're not letting more knowledge in. And so just continuing to sit with that student mentality, right? And so with keeping up with the animals this holiday season and the kids, think about trying to create a segregated space. And so I'll take you guys on a little tour of my segregated spaces in my house, of how I manage all my animals and stuff. It's just what works for me. Everyone's different on how they're gonna, do the things. A lot of times you can get away with just putting a basket where the dog's toys all go into a basket, and the dog can go to that basket to where they want to retrieve their toys. You got a toddler. Hello, all my toddler families and parents out there. I am with you. Oh, toddler phase is fierce. All my love and vibration, positive vibrations to all of these toddler parents and teenage parents too. Just parents. Humanity. Just all of that love vibration to humanity, because yes, and that's the great thing too about doTERRA, but they're not quite as expensive, but they're just the same quality. That real high quality stuff. They're amazing. Thank you, Stacy, for your input on the oils. But yeah, all that positive vibration, y'all, all of that just love, just keep on putting it out. And just when you create that environment, it'll help kind of like ease any tensions out too. But with the toys, create that space, create that segregation, so that your children and your animals understand where they can go. I'll show you, my girls are cooking too right now for their stuff too, for having puppies, because they get like this super awesome combination to like help them produce lots of milk. And so like these are some of my areas where this is what would normally be the dining room, I guess. And that goes out to my back deck. And we also have in our puppy room. Oh, they're amazing. So we have in here, we've got like the different pens. And so whatever works for you, not just with keeping your pup up, but like having the baskets. Like we've always got baskets all over the place for whatever random things find themselves. And just go with what resonates best with you. And when you guys can start, creating a little more sanity space, like the baby's toys. That's it's the toy corner. So that's in there, and like that's where all like the extra toys, or their bedrooms, right? Because then my dogs, they don't have a chance to get into stuff, right? They're not rummaging around in the kids' toys. They're up right now because my eyes aren't on them. And so that's where, when your animals, if you aren't able to have your eyes on them, then make sure you have them in a safe area. That was the point of showing the pens and stuff, because I have to take my eyes off my animals in certain situations, right? Depending on how many animals are in their house. That's one of the best ways to do it. Yeah, doTERRA is a really good product. I do like their stuff. I've used their stuff. I'll have to show you guys my essential oil collection. It's just a basket of just like oils, and I use them all the time. I use them in like your soaps. Did you know that if you buy like the reusable soaps and stuff, there's some even fantastic ones that are like the tablets. You can put essential oils and mix it into the soap, just shake it up a little bit and mix it, and now you've got a good smelling plain soap. Different ways to incorporate. It's amazing, especially if you're for like your work environment, just to help with, like, you could even like dose the hand soaps if you have access to them, or just like creating a better because they're powerful. The smell is quite powerful mixed in with the soaps, so it's always interesting. I'm just going to look back at the baby, I'll look at it later. I'm just showing up into some of the chats. Yeah, so I have some family in Chicago. A lot of my family's in Chicago, actually. Apparently, my dad branched away from the family, but a lot of them. So I had a lot of fun in Chicago. A lot of memories being stationed there, because I went to boot camp and then across the street to school. That was fun. Walking up literally miles to the front gate in the snow. Like, I will tell you this though, that is where I learned how to be very good with layering. It's funny, my kids get super annoyed with me out here because I always talk about, because it's, it's open, right? So we sit north of Austin. Austin's kind of down in this valley a little bit, so we sit on the outskirts. We sit up higher. Well, because of that, the winds coming up, right, all the different ways coming out of it, like, they'll cut over the hills where we live. And there's like not a wall of trees. There's not a bunch of houses. And so I always laugh, like they always talk, they're always talking about how layers, right? Adrian, turn that down. Kids, y'all, kids, they're killing me. So yes, layers in the winter, it's amazing. I always have like pants, jeans, work pants and stuff that I can put leggings and things underneath. So then I can strip if I have to as it warms up to 76 degrees from 32 degrees. Yeah, it's okay. I'll take the weather. So yeah, doTERRA, this is, like I was saying, the different oils that they have in the link, in the description, you'll find them. They are amazing. They're very high quality, so you don't need as much as if you use like some of the cheaper store-bought brands. It goes a lot longer. It's a lot more pure. Excuse me. And so, yeah, it's just, they're really fantastic. And like I was saying, like those different mantras, sometimes if we don't know where to start, or we just kind of like, maybe you just gravitate. I have a couple that I just gravitated towards, and they're really helpful for, just helping to get started, right? Can I get an amen? Like sometimes that, or at least in my experience, that is usually the hardest time. And just even people I work with too, just like that start, right? And then once we start, like continuing to start does not stop, right? And so even with kids, I use it with my children. They always laugh at me. I have like the cool mist, where it has the essential oils kind of radiating to the room, and that's incredibly sad. I'm so sorry, Nikki. That's super tough, because Y'all, let's get real. Some of y'all might have children out of wedlock, or maybe you have an ex-husband or wife, whatever. If the other parent is a genuinely good parent, let them have that relationship with the child, all right? Because honest to God, children need a good mother and father, and they need to see peace and working together if they're not together, right? The child needs to be loved above all else and know that it's okay to love, right? I'm sorry, I know I totally got on this, but this was super heavy on my heart it was on my heart earlier. And so I get the feeling someone watching this is going to need to hear this. And if you're going through that, where the other parent is being ugly and behaving ugly, whether they're saying ugly things to the kids or things like that, where all it does is causes the child. It causes the child that pain and that heartache. And yes, it does reverberate back to you if you're on the receiving end of it, unfortunately, but not like it does the kid, right? And I really feel like someone needs to hear that. But children, they are so naturally in tune. And so I wonder if his spirit is staying there to be his guide. Oh, I'm going to start crying. Oh, because that happens too. Where we come into this earth with contracts, y'all. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, is we come into this earth knowing what's going to come. And it's not saying that isn't sad, but try to look at it as when our physical bodies die, we will reunite with them. But they came here knowing this was the contract they signed. They don't obviously know it usually prematurely, but they knew the circumstances. Hold on. Y'all, turn that down, please. Well, Abby, can you? Oh, thank you. And so they came here with that understanding that this is what was going to come to pass. This is the contracts we all agreed to. My own. I've been opening up and learning about my own contract and like why I had to go through the thing I went through. Why I'm even here, right? We all do. We all should be, right? We all should be striving to find that out. And maybe, just maybe, that these contracts we have can also be to go on and be guides. I've come across many people who've had close family, parents, children, all the things, and they stay and they guide and they journey with you. They're not gone. I have so much love to you guys in the chat. It's life is intense. Life is mind-blowing, you know? And and this is what I mean by like just sitting with, when I talk about like sitting with your emotions, like this is what I'm talking about, because that was really overwhelming. And you can always tell because it's when I start crying. To just sit with that, right? How does that feel? Where are you feeling it? Why are you feeling it? What are these feelings trying to tell you? When we're talking about changing our mind, when we're talking about walking into that 5D and higher mindset, the biggest thing we need to start with is identifying what is going on in our energetic fields and our hearts and our body and our everything, right? We've got to start understanding what is going on, and that's how we do it. So when you sit without judgment, explore in your bodies, explore like, wow, that's really heavy, but it's also really peaceful. That's an odd combination to be burdenous, but in peace at the same time. And it's overwhelming, and that's okay. But just sit with it, feel it, allow it to resonate, because when you do have the negative things come up, we all do, it's life. how are we going to walk through it? How are we going to step through and journey through to not just survive? I don't want to survive. I want to fucking thrive, y'all. I want to be on fire. I want to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, fulfilling my soul contract to its highest being, right? And just that's my prayer for everyone, really, because when we all are uniting and just vibrating like that, our ability to just thrive just is so much greater, right? So much greater. Oh my gosh. Oh. Much love to you, my sister. Feeling overwhelmed, but that's okay. So we're going to jump into talking about some of the CBD, some of my experiences, the things that have also been helping me keep calm. Oh, before I forget, in the description, check out our 30-day challenge. It did already start, but you guys still have tons of time. It's free. You can click on the link to sign up for the survey, where at the end of it, which the last day will be January 20th, which hello synchronicities and all things universally divine, jumping that in there, to to be able to sorry, that whole travel thing, my brain scrolls out a lot, forgive me, y'all, because I have like so many like amazing things I'm trying to bring, and it's like my energy, I try to contain it, but it's really hard because the shit I see is really awesome. But I'll come back to it. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about, so we'll put on the one that scrolled me out. Yes. You know, when you start stepping into what God called you to do, that is one of the things I have really been shown, is when you walk in that light for Jesus and you walk into what you're supposed to do, you will always be cared for, as long as you don't become gluttonous, because I don't care what it is. If you become gluttonous in anything, it becomes bad. So don't get gluttonous in your millions of dollars, vacation extravaganza for like a week straight. You blow all that cash, because that's being a little bit too damn ridiculous. Like, you need to chill out, but don't live so poor that you have nothing. Literally, you're just walked upon, right? You allow everyone to walk over you, that you're, and I don't mean spiritually poor, I don't mean financially poor, I mean spiritually poor, to where everyone is walking over on top of you, to where you don't have anything mentally or physically, and so it's that balance. What, baby? Can I buy that? No, baby. Go out, please. Just that beautiful balance, yeah. We'll go back to the CBD, because that's where I remember I picked up off of. This is the stuff that I got from my girl Kira. And so CBD, you guys hear me talk about it all the time. It helps me manage my pain. I have what's called fibromyalgia. And the way that mine set off was, I had a very, 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 very abusive ex-husband. And the last time he physically got a hold of me, I was already dealing with spinal injury, knee injury, just emotionally and emotionally, like our emotional health literally creates our physical health. Emotionally, I was just destroyed. Mentally, I was just, I was struggling to function, right? And when that happened, it caused my entire nervous system to basically shoot out and like just die. Like, now everything is overactive. And I got, after that happened, there's about 2 months that I still don't remember of like conscious time. And I mean, apparently I went to court for a protection order. Don't remember. Did some serious stuff. And I was told things, right? Well, what happened is, from that assault, it ended up giving me massive and debilitating migraines, to where like I couldn't function. Like, I was on my way out medically from the military, but I wasn't even like driving into work for periods of time, because I couldn't. I thankfully lived with housemates who literally helped me care for my children, because my migraines, like, I literally couldn't function. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. It was horrible. And, I, got out and was trying to do just life as best as I could. And I still remember the first time I had, it wasn't obviously this product, it was a mixture of things, because when you use a mixture of the THC and CBD for severe mental health and pain in isolated ways, when I first encountered it, like I started bawling because my pain released. And when I say release, it's like, y'all ever left a bottle of like liquid soda or whatever in the sun all day, and the days all expanded, right? Super pressurized. And when you take it off, it's like, psh. Well, that's exactly how the pain is. And then when you start staying consistent with it, and this is for like severe pain, those are the hardest to treat. Severe pain, severe nerve issues. This is what I'm talking about. Your diabetes, your autism, your seizures. They, on just this stuff, what we use, this is obviously bacon flavored, so it's for my dog, but this product, this type of product that we work with, their products are meant for, because you don't need that. You just don't need it. They are more appropriately dosed. What I'm talking about, like when it started to feel that relief, it was, and I mean, I thank God every day opioids didn't work for me, because I was in so much pain. Now, granted, I was scared because I'd been exposed to like what drug abuse does to people, how it affects them. Like I had witnessed much of that. And so like I knew what could happen if I got addicted to stuff. I'd seen it, I'd lived it, right? And it was awful, absolutely awful. And I was terrified. I didn't want to go down that route but I was in so much pain, trying to function, work, everything else. And so just going into all of these things, right, that started when I started incorporating CBD and the mixtures in mental health sessions. I used it to process my severe PTSD. That's how I came out on the other side. And we'll talk a lot more about that. I'm super vocal about this because this is like the greatest healing stuff, because it's all based on our cannabinoids. And I always encourage people to start researching and stuff. Even what a cannabinoid is, it is our receptors. We have them in our body, and without processing, without doing anything, just the hemp plant, just straight up break it, let it dry out a little bit, and just smoking, just even that, y'all, has so much healing. And that's why they always used it back in like the Native Americans, a lot of the old medicine, but it was all taken from us. And the CBD, the cannabinoid oil, that's where the healing aspects of it, without any like high or anything of those natures that can be associated. And that other piece that is not in this, that other piece is what pops on drug tests. These do not. And so, y'all, this is fantastic for it. Calming down hyperactivity, ADHD, allowing focus, because what you're doing, and it needs to be regimental. It needs to be daily. It needs to be, there's all kinds of different dosing information out there with it. I'm talking about people I know who reacted to everything as side effects wise. Like there is no known side effects. Like the worst, if you mix the two, the THC and CBD, the worst thing I could think of if you did that, which is, it's not this product, separate product that I don't sell, but it is out there. And that I could think of, maybe you might get the munchies. Like that would be like the worst. And maybe you get a little weight gain and start have to like shift them around how much access to snacks you have, if like that's your thing. But that's like the worst side effect I can think of, because just, you know what I mean? Like this stuff is so like, this is that beautiful divine puzzle piece way that God works, where it's, because if you look into the science, like kid you not, you guys, your cannabinoid receptors and the way that the CBD integrates into our bodies, it just fits into this beautiful like little puzzle pieces and stuff. And it just, when you start having a consistent regimen of it, your body is at a more homeostasis. It's more, what's that word? I'm using the wrong ending. Whatever, my brain is like, oh, deep diving too damn much on this words and stuff. I have a test coming up, and so I've been studying. I've got a big test coming up on the 18th of January, and my brain. I digress. But the CBD, the cannabinoid, and so like they start healing these different areas of our bodies that is lacking because our cells aren't being treated the way that they're supposed to be. So it's amazing. And just read up on it, click on the information. There's a bunch of information that you can read about, educate. I always want people to educate, become empowered, because knowledge is truly power. When we start understanding and allowing ourselves to just take things with a grain of salt and sit with the information and see how it resonates. Because when we start sitting with the information and just feeling out how it feels back to us, and we are seeking those high vibrations and we're operating at a higher frequency, the truth will find its way to us. The light and how it's the way of law of attraction. It's just the way it works, but we have to get there, right? And so creating with that 30-day challenge, changing our brain chemistry, changing our physical cellular, chemistry. You're talking about Crohn's disease. Like, oh my gosh, that is one of the things with fibro is like, it's my whole body. It's literally every cell in my body is inflamed. So that also means my stomach, my intestinal tract, all of it from pain and it's inflammation, right? Sugar and all of that makes inflammation a million times worse. That's why I didn't plan for it today. Maybe I'll plan for it next week. We'll do a little treat. But I mean, talking about literally my drink that I haven't drank, but I should drink because but it's my go-to, right? Because I haven't been craving a lot of food. Have you guys been craving food, like dense food, especially like the super carby stuff? Because that's one of the things with Ascension is like, we're just not craving the carbs. We're not craving all of that stuff that is so heavy, right? And I mean, literally, so this has frozen okra. Yes, okra. A serving size of this. This got some MCT powder, collagen, and this has got all the types of the collagen, right? Super important. Chia seeds, right? And that's all mixed up into here with some, I added the water to the coffee to make it for the proper ounce, threw some ice in there, y'all, and it's amazing. And it also helps kind of give me a boost. I love drinking it too if I'm like super tired before class because I do night school. It's fantastic because it's a nice little invigoration for a good few hours. I have a really hard time getting through that midday. I always get super tired, and it pushes me over. I'm going to check in with y'all's chat. Amen, sister. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is such a praise report right there. And like, that's what I'm talking about. The amount of research I have personally seen of like how they have the cure for cancer, how they have all the cures for these things, even the bioengineered things that they created. Y'all, and it's all here. We have access to it. And exactly like what you're saying, that's such a beautiful praise, my sister. Yes, this stuff it heals on just this natural way that people and doctors can't explain, and it's so beautiful. And it's just become so known that it's just there, and they're trying to suppress it. They're trying to make it so that the world doesn't find this out, because big pharma, all their little pockets getting lined. They're not going to be getting lined. All the middle people praise Trump for getting rid of those middle people, cutting all he's slashing it and dicing it the best way he can. He may not have gotten the head off, but he's messing the big pharma monster up. And I'm excited because I see that liberation of people. Hello, all of the, like the diabetics and stuff, the EpiPens. I was so angry, y'all. Are you angry about that? Because I couldn't believe when EpiPen went up, I was like, what? Is this shit so expensive? Why? It's an EpiPen. Why are you so expensive? And I gotta check on their food. I just remembered it was cooking. But exactly, it's just, it's this beautiful stuff we have access to. And it's here. It's becoming known. And it's amazing. So what do you guys have going on for the holidays? I'm going to engage with you on the chat while I stir this up really quick. You guys have anything going on? Are you guys staying home? That makes me super heartbroken for you, Michelle. Keep praying over her, or him, her. She said her. Yeah, she is going. Yeah, keep praying over her. Try to set the intentions in your meditation time where you just focus on your friend. You can envision her. You can hear her talking. Where you are just imagining that you're connecting with her and just sending her. Oh my gosh, I am burping all of a sudden. I'm so sorry. But imagine that where you are sending that love vibration, that healing vibration, that discernment vibration for that all-knowing, right? And just imagine yourself however it manifests and resonates with you, right? The biggest thing is you're seeing what you're wanting to do, and that's to send that vibration to this person who she starts getting things, that's the right things start coming to her, to start putting her on a more natural path to where she is starting to understand that. Because when you start putting that into the universe and you start, going into that on that wavelength and sending that wavelength to this person, you're interceding on their behalf to where it'll just start coming to them and it'll start finding them and guiding them wherever they're at in their journey, to these things. And, I'm always reminded, where there is dark, there's equally great as light. And so, but we choose to work for the light, y'all. We choose that. And that's a conscious choice. That is one thing I always see consistently coming back. We have to consciously choose to follow Christ. We have to consciously choose to start meditating and wanting to ascend higher and wanting to get out of that pain, 3D, dense mindset and space and being, right? Oh man, staying home. Yes. I'm with you. I have never liked traveling for the holidays personally, but people are really rude in the holiday season. I've always been perplexed by that. Like, aren't y'all supposed to be like super holly and jolly? But see, there was my expectation. That was shame on me. I had that expectation instead of just being with what is and controlling myself, because that's the only thing I can control. Yes. Happy and healthy is truly a blessing for sure. What else are you guys doing for the holiday season? Anybody else? Yeah, and so I definitely have started, ever since I should have been hospitalized about 4 years ago with bacterial pneumonia, because I wasn't taking good care of myself. I kind of had a big awakening of like, this is pretty intense that we need to do this whole mask on first thing, where we just make sure that we stay in that highest vibrational point that we can, because that healing. Abigail, turn that off, please. Yeah, the TV. Turn it off. They have, I know y'all probably have the same problem. Anyone who has kids, like, they have to be blasting everything. And of course, I sit here as them, but my music's not blasting, so whatever. I'm always playing music. But yeah, just that health and having that ability to just be healthy is definitely something, because it's like, I have seen a lot of evidence in interviews with the whistleblowers who fled here from China, talking about the CCP virus being bioengineered and how they witnessed like this. It's real, but it was created. And there's lawyers out there. I've watched the lawyers talking about who they're going after, where like the evidence they have that's been tracked down. And there are people in other countries who are going after these folks for crimes against humanity, y'all. They're that beautiful vision. I had this gnarly vision the other day where it was just like, I saw like this swarm of Chinese people. It was like the fence had been like broken down. It was like a war zone is what it looked like, but it was like this. I saw like this mass amounts of Chinese people coming around this fence, and I remember them looking around, and then they stepped outside that fence, and they just were proud, and all I had was freedom. And I'm gonna start crying again. But it was just so it's like I'm seeing these visions, and I don't know how we get there, y'all. I don't have any idea. I just know what I'm seeing, and it's like, okay, and like, because it's like this immersion, this knowing, right? Anyone who has in tune, children, help grow them, bring them in on your journey, help them develop in their own, because that is so important that they too learn to do this, right? They too learn how to coming into their own and understanding their own identity. Yes, that's amazing. Frankincense. And what's wild too, right? If anyone who's read the Bible, they talk about the incense and the oils and stuff. And so it's just, that's another thing. What were the practices they did back then where they helped create a pure space for praying and just being, and it's wild how much has been suppressed in these. That's one of the ones that is just really known for using to cleanse their space, and they're meditating. I love your guys' chat. You guys have so much love, and I absolutely love it. So much prayer. Y'all are beautiful souls. I am super happy to be with you guys. Yes, much love and light to you guys. We're gonna hop off. Just realized what time it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many things I can talk about. But yeah, join our 30-day challenge. It's that binaural beats, and it's meant, right? You want to sleep with it at night. There's a couple of different stations and stuff. There's my own playlist if you don't know where to get started. There's a lot of great ones, and just what I always say is sit for like 10 to 15 seconds where you're listening to the music and feel how it resonates with you. And if it doesn't feel really good, just go to the next one. There's so many out there. Just go to the next one and find one, because what you're looking for is one that when you're listening to it, you're feeling the vibrations. You should feel a peace, maybe even euphoric, but just calming sensation over your body as you're listening and absorbing. And that's the one you want to be listening into as you sleep in that subconscious time where it's a lot easier. Like the veils are not quite as dense if we're struggling with that, but you're able to tap into that subconsciousness easier. And that's where we're doing all of this deep cellular healing, and just really getting us into that beautiful mindset when we step into the next day. We've been thinking about, and processing and, problem solving all of the days, woes, work, family, whatever is going on. And we're manifesting. But when you create that with the binaural beats, y'all, this is like how we start literally changing. It's amazing. So there you can sign up to do the survey, which I'm going to use the statistical information. I'll leave your names out of it. The names are mostly for me to track to make sure I don't duplicate emails to people. And so yeah, the survey there, I did create a Facebook group and a MeWe group for this because I want to help us kind of start, encouraging each other, lifting up each other, things that you might be going through, because there's a lot of things going on as we're in this new vibrational state of being. The earth is, right? And a lot of us are having different things, and we may not always be attuned to it. It might just be like, oh, come and go. But your children, your pets, everyone is going through the same thing because we're all energetically connected and feeling it, right? And so it was a total synchronicity. This next period of time till Inauguration Day, and even possibly thereafter, it's going to possibly be really bumpy. So that was just that beautiful synchronicity of coming where let's do a challenge where we're holding ourselves accountable and we're holding each other accountable. Hey, did you sleep last night? How do you feel? What worked for you? How are you feeling? Let's connect. Let's build that, because when we're with each other, we may be seeing through a screen, but that doesn't mean we can't stop connecting, right? Merry Christmas to all of you guys. You guys are amazing in the chat. Just such beautiful souls. I love it. Just all that positive love vibration, because when we gather like this, right? Even though it's electronically, when we gather and we connect, we're creating those higher vibrations and frequencies to where that's how we just start, really permeating. It starts just with trying. That's all you got to do. And I say that so lackadaisical, but at the same time, like in my experience, I was like, that's really hard to do. That's not just like, it's easy to say it, but you mean do it? Like move? Shit, that's a lot harder. And so, yeah, just that first step, right? And it's helpful as we're kind of figuring out our schedule. Hold on, baby. As we're figuring out our schedules, to really just hold each other accountable, be accountable, and just try. And so there's also our information for our Insight Timer Circle, same thing. Insight Timer is the app I personally use. They have a free, and over 70,000 free guided meditations. I'm on there too. And so just trying to connect with everybody, because they have ones that are a couple minutes long for people really starting to kind of like figure this out, to like hours long, right? All kinds of different things. It's fantastic, a great resource. You can pay for a more extensive version, but even just to start, right? And see how it resonates with you. And it has like a little alarm you can do on it. I always encourage you to put an alarm on your calendar, right? Make it ping up at the time that you're supposed to be meditating or like getting ready. That was some of the things, like, because I struggle being able to stop so suddenly in a specific task because of my life. And so I had to start doing was like giving myself a window to prepare to meditate, to prepare to self-care, to prepare. And I needed a good 20 minutes, because then I could tie up, whether it was kids or animals, whatever, I could get it organized and right. So then it was like, okay, now that it's this time to actually meditate, I'm not spending that time. I'm supposed to be meditating and grounding, trying to get to where I can actually meditate and ground, right? And so feel what works best for you and keep trying. If it doesn't fit super, like, you'll know, because it'll fit so right and just so perfect, and you're like, oh, this works, I can do this. But then there's not going to say that it's not going to change later, right? Life changes, everything's always changing. And so just allowing yourself to have grace to go with what resonates, so that you can stay in that high vibration, right? All comes back into that energy. So just feel it out. That's like all I can ever just come back to. Resonate what resonates best, right? Because everyone's journey is different. Everyone's interpretation of things is different. And so when you just sit and allow what resonates, it's going to just always find it's the right things, the helpful things, the light things. When you put that expectation into the universe, nothing except those of the highest vibrations, the greatest love, things along that line. When we enter that into the universe and we proclaim that into the universe, we create an energetic field for that particular thing to come into the universe. We create that field, we create that energy. And so when we do that, that's how that law of attraction starts coming in, right? And so I am super excited to do our chat next week. I'm going to put together some more things. Hopefully your sanity is kept intact mostly. I'm praying for everybody. I will add my email in the description if anyone has prayer requests. It always stays confidential. Just adding extra people to that, on your team, on your intercessory team. And thank you guys for the great chat. You guys are so full of love. I absolutely adore it. And I feel so blessed and honored to be on y'all's journey with you. I'm excited. Keep spreading that love, y'all. It's been working. I've been seeing it all over the world. It's beautiful. I'll get with you guys later.